Hello, nerds, geeks, and Marvel nerds. I said nerds twice. That's okay. This is Megan with Vigilante Vibes, where I give you all the Marvel talk, all the Marvel discussions, all the Marvel theories in a very non-toxic way. It's like the fun of the fandom without the grossness that comes with the fandom. I think we all know all the stuff I'm referring to. Today, I'm joined by a fellow nerd mom who I'm super excited. You may have seen her just commenting and spreading joy everywhere in my Facebook group, the Nerd Haven on Facebook. Well, please welcome Katy.
Hi.
Today, we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a nerd parent. So, more specifically, nerd moms, but I think nerd dads can get something out of it too. Raising little nerds in a world where being nerds it was always kind of a thing to be made fun of, but now it's kind of like the thing to do. It's very strange, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah, I was going to think about that because, as I think I told you before, I grew up nerdy, and when I was a kid, my brother actually got me into comic books and such, and I remember going into the comic book store with him, and I would point or tell him which comic books to get for me because I was too embarrassed because it wasn't cool to be a comic reader back when I was a kid in the 90s. And so it's great that that's so accepted now and everything. It makes a big difference that being a nerd's kind of cool and a little more mainstream.
Yeah. So you say you grew up on comics. Which ones did you like to read?
I was really into Excalibur and X-Men, and I think, awkward teenager, trying to. And then I got into Elf Quest for a while and Sandman, and then managed to loop back when I had my own kids back into Marvel again. And it's been good. Thank goodness for Marvel Unlimited, or else I wouldn't be able to afford it.
I know. I want to go. I get like the ones that I really, really love in physical form, but it's expensive. Not in this economy. It adds up so fast. So thank God for Marvel Unlimited, because I would be in shambles.
Yeah, I read a lot more than I would be able to afford to otherwise. It also saves space, which is good too. Because I remember having tons and tons of those boxes and of comics, and just what do you do with them? Gather dust.
It's hard because you want to like display them, or you want to put them somewhere, but it's like we also have kids, and my kids have destroyed mine. Like I just destroyed them. And there's no balance in life for a mom nerd, because your collectibles, that's theirs now. They're destroyed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Funkos, those little heads come off real easy, and I found that out the worst ways.
Yeah. Having the older teens, or the teens now, is that's passed. But I remember that pain and trying to keep your things nice. You're not allowed to have nice things, so when they're little.
Yeah, even my Christmas decoration, like my Christmas ornaments, my daughter 2 years ago went and chewed off the legs off every hero. So like it's just Spider-Man head and body, Iron Man head and body, and it's like it feels so personal at this point. It's just rude.
That's sad. That's really sad.
But we kept the little bastards. They just been through so much. We couldn't throw them away.
Yeah, you spent so much on them, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of cute.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I think they're cute.
Thank God they're cute. Oh my God. So you have little nerds of your own. Well, I guess kind of grown nerds, not little nerds, but do you guys enjoy nerding out together?
Yeah, one of my favorite stories with my older son, who's my big Marvel nerd. He's 16 and huge Deadpool fan, so we went with his friends actually for his birthday to go see Deadpool and Wolverine on opening night. And he wanted his bestie to sit on one side, and then he wanted me to sit on his other side because he knew I would get all the references and everything. And we were going there all the movie and grabbing each other and going, "Oh my god, oh my god!" It touched my heart so much that he wanted to sit next to me because that's something we share, and he knew I would get all the references and everything with him. So that was really special.
That is so
And
sweet.
yeah, yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
kid.
That that's
And
so nice.
and then we do cons. We cosplay together. Our first con at the Vancouver Fan Expo, we all did Loki. So I did low key Loki, Lowkey, and my older son did President Loki. My daughter did a gender swap TVA Loki, and my younger son did alligator Loki. So that was fun. And then they've gotten more into their own fandom. So my older son does various Deadpools, like Deadpool riding a unicorn, Deadpool in a maid's costume. My daughter's really into the Helliverse, so she did Charlie the other year, and my younger son, when he's going to be a little too cool to dress up, but he's done some anime characters and such. So that's really fun to share with them, and an experience with them. It was really cool, actually. Speaking of sharing with my daughter, sharing experiences, when my daughter at the last one, she's been grade 8 in Canada is when you start high school, and she was feeling very awkward and kind of was having trouble making friends, and she was having a tough year. And we went to the Fan Expo, and she dressed up as Charlie from Hazbin Hotel, and she had all these people coming up and going, coming up to her and saying, "Oh, you look so cool," and bowing to her and treating her like royalty, and it so made her day. It was just awesome to see it, just see our confidence go up like that. So that was really cool.
Oh, that is
Special
so
experience.
sweet.
Yeah, so
Oh,
she left that.
that's
Yeah.
great. So do you guys all cosplay together, which I think is adorable. My family won't do it, so like I'm living vicariously through you guys. So do you guys have a big cosplay, like a family cosplay planned for the future?
I don't know what we're going to do this year. It's Fan Expo's in end of February. So I don't know what our plans are for this year. I Yeah, my daughter went as the Lamb from Cult of the Lamb video game for Halloween, so she might just do that one. My son was going to do Princess Deadpool for Halloween, but then the dress didn't really fit onto. It was awesome. He wore the dress, but didn't quite fit over the Deadpool costume, so it was a bit tight. Big poofy pink dress. It was awesome, and so I don't know if he's going to go with that, but he's going to do this year. And yeah, I don't know. I did Miss Minutes the other year, and I don't know, I keep saying I'm going to retire that costume, but I like it, so I might just do that again. So I don't know. Haven't made any big plans yet because life and busy and all that fun stuff.
I loved your Miss Minutes look.
Oh, thank
I
you.
loved it. I really thought I'd see more Miss Minutes that year, but like you were the only one and you killed it. So
Oh, thank you.
you guys are pretty much a cosplaying family now. That's kind of how I see you.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I love your son's confidence with being Princess Deadpool, and I love that your daughter's confidence soared when she got so much positive attention for when she cosplayed. That's so beautiful.
Well, that's the fun. That's the great thing about the raising kids nerdy is that there is a really. I mean, there's the toxic side of the fandom, but there is a really supportive side of the fandom too, and that embraces people being different and being a little bit weird and being, into these kind of very alternative things, and it's fun. Yeah, again, my son when he did, I think when he did both his Deadpool costumes, the Deadpool riding a unicorn and made Deadpool, he had people lining up to take pictures with him. It's just it's such a fun ego boost for them, and like boosts their confidence so much. And it's just great that there's these supportive people and supportive community that supports these kids and encourages them to explore this crazy side. Sorry for my cats there being
I liked
noisy.
it. I really liked it a lot, actually. That's really cute.
Comedy. Yeah.
I totally agree. There is, of course, there is the rough side of the fandom that'll beat you down if you don't look perfect as a cosplayer or you're not wearing the sexy cosplay. There's the shitty
Yeah.
people. But then there are the people who, more often than not, will say, you look amazing, even if you didn't get it all the way. You still tried. I love your passion. And those people need to be protected at all costs because we need
Yeah.
that positivity and that support. Because I think cosplaying and just doing what you love in a nerdy way, I think it helps you benefit so many things for your personality, like you said, your confidence and your ability to show your passions out loud instead of keeping them in because you're embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's exactly that. It's been really cool. And there's a really nice cosplay community here. We stumbled upon it through the Fan Expo page, actually, a group of cosplayers that was dressing up, meeting at a park in Marvel cosplay and going to mostly X-Men related, and then going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine in cosplay. So that was really fun. We met up with them, and that was just awesome. And they had people who just came as photographers and were doing pretty professional quality photography just for free. And we had all kinds of people. There was a Nightcrawler, there was a Mystique, there was Cyclops. There was all kinds of these awesome cosplays, awesome Deadpools, awesome Wolverines. It was really cool, and so I went with that with my son, and that was a lot of fun. And then to watch the movie in costume, that was fun. And I found it was in my Miss Minutes, so I found a Loki and a Mobius, so that was cool to get pictures with them. So there was like, I don't know, there was like 30 of us or something, so that was really cool. And it just was supportive, and there was really, really good quality cosplays, and then kind of much more kind of, simpler ones. But, it was all supportive, and everyone was excited, and they did these kind of videos to music and everything. It was a really neat experience. So that was cool and fun for my son as well. And so I appreciate the community that's here, and I hope it's other places as well. And I've just really experienced it here in the Vancouver area, but that's been really cool.
That is cool. I didn't know. We don't have anything like that here. I live out in the middle of nowhere. So, like, cosplay isn't really a big thing at all. So that's so cool. So you guys all got dressed up in cosplay and went to see Deadpool Wolverine. That feels like a core memory in the making.
Yeah, it was pretty special. It was fun. It was really cool. And everyone was so nice and friendly. I mean, I felt kind of awkward at first there. I didn't know anybody. I'd messaged with this one guy, who was organizing it all, the guy dressed as Cyclops. And I was like, what's going on? And so so I just showed up, and it was like, it was really cool. It was a fun experience. And people were so nice and friendly and accepting. It was really neat. And
really great.
we're kind of in the boondocks where we are, but it takes about 45 minutes to get into the city, so we can at least balance and do some of the fun stuff that way.
So what did you guys think of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, we loved it. We absolutely loved it. Yeah, no, it was such a fun experience. And I think Dom and I, my son Dom and I, we were just bouncing out of our seats. We were just, and then afterwards we're just blah. Just couldn't stop. It was definitely one of the best movies of the year, and definitely one of my favorite Marvel movies for sure. So
Which is awesome. Wild because it really didn't have much to do with the MCU, but it's still I don't know why I loved it. I think it's one of my favorite movies. And you look back, you're like, it really didn't have any impact on the MCU. It was just kind of there, just making jokes at their expense, which I loved.
Yeah. Well, at least it had the TVA, and Loki's my favorite Marvel show, series, whatever. So at least I got my TVA fix, so that was good. It was just such a good cast, and just everyone just worked so well together, and it just was... And there were just so many... The fact that there were so many surprises in there, that things weren't leaked was awesome. And and just being in the audience, when Gambit appeared, when Blade appeared, I mean, just the screams and everything, and and Human Torch and everything. I mean, just being in the audience for all those moments was just such a cool experience. And then those were the moments I was sharing with Dom, and we were just literally grabbing each other's arms and just going, oh my god.
It's wild to me that as great as that movie was, Ryan Reynolds came up with it like in a couple hours, the idea of it. Right
That's
before he
insane.
had to Yeah, right before he had to meet Kevin Feige because Hugh Jackman called him and said, "Hey, I want to be in the next movie." And he's like,
Mhm.
"That's weird timing because I'm going to go see Kevin in a few hours." So he had to come up with this whole idea. And then he went to see Kevin, and Kevin's like, "I love it. Let's do it." And he's like, "That's the one?" Because I guess he has asked them many ideas, and they turned him down. I think,
Oh wow.
including a Christmas movie, which was like
Right.
kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, that one sounded odd.
It did. And I don't know how they'd get like a few hours out of a Christmas movie, but
Though I really, really want a Deadpool Christmas special now, like they did for the Guardians. I think that
yeah,
would
like
be
a
awesome.
special presentation would be great. I
Yeah.
would love that. And that makes me realize, are we not getting something Christmas themed this year?
I don't know
Because
if we're just getting What If. I don't know. I don't even know there's a Christmas episode to the What If this time. Wish they released the titles. I'm just dying to know.
I want to know so many things about what's going to happen. What if? Because it's the last season.
I
If it was,
know.
if it wasn't the last season, I'd be like, oh, I mean, it'll be great. I'll be excited.
Yeah,
But it's the last one, so it's like, what are they about to do?
I know. I can't. Yeah, and I know I'm not crazy about the one a day either. I know you're not crazy about that, but
I'm not.
it'll be what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, I might do like a review a day or something, but
yeah.
it's like that's just another thing, and it's such a tiring time of the year.
It
I,
is.
there's just so many things I forget already. But that's just me being lazy,
Yeah.
not wanting to do more.
That's one thing about having nerdy kids. Gift giving, at least, is easy because well, there's always Funko. There's always something
True.
that's it's easy to find stuff for them. So that's been good
Very
because
true.
it can be hard to find things for teenagers because teenagers are teenagery.
Yeah. That my oldest, who's 5, she is a nerd, but she's a nerd about everything in the world. She likes every damn thing she comes into contact with. She gets obsessive over it. And it's like, well, you're easy to shop for. But my youngest, no interest in
Oh,
nothing. Nothing. She is 2.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she just wants you to turn on TV to the dancing fruit videos on YouTube and just live her life, I guess. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
so they're very opposite ends of the spectrum. And I was just like, come on, guys, just like ask me to watch Spider-Man or something. Give me something. Because my husband isn't nerdy. And he's the
No,
least nerdy human being on this planet.
my husband might give you a run for the money on that. He's yeah.
What?
No, he is hunter fisherman. Likes his war movies. He'll play some video games, but like the shoot 'em up video games and lovely lovely person. I adore him to bits, but yeah. I was glad I have a child I can go watch the Marvel movies with because otherwise I'd be a very sad person.
Well, he will go watch the movies with me if I provide snacks.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
only caveat. And as long as they don't sing in the movie, he cannot do sing alongs, musical. He hates them with a
Oh.
fiery passion, and he always has.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to tell you then. So that scene in the Marvels, he really, really hated. He was
Oh, I
not
can
pleased in the
imagine.
theater. And I was like, how was I supposed to know? I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah.
But
Oh
it
well,
sounds like we're married to. Is this when we find out we're married to the same man?
maybe there you go. Whew. I given up taking him to movies because I've got a child to take to with me. Actually, the first Marvel movie I took him to was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think it was when he was in grade 3 or 4. It was the promising if he did well in his spelling test, I would take him to go see it, and yeah, so that was really fun. We went and we did the D box seats, so they vibrated, and that was really really fun too. So that was our first Marvel movie together, and so that
Oh,
was really special. And mind you, I've had some major nerd parenting missteps too. I my son got into watching The Boys, which it was just fine, and he knew we were watching it. So we were watching it together, and a certain episode came on.
Herogasm.
Yeah, which was very, very one of the more awkward moments to watch with my, I don't know if he was 14 or 15 then, year-old son. So that was a bit of a misstep. I mean, it was fine. I mean, we talked about it afterwards. We were like, yeah, that was awkward. Okay. So maybe not the most appropriate moment, but it's what it is.
We first turned on The Boys. I didn't read The Boys comics, so I didn't know. People just said it's a more adult superhero show, and I was like, say no more. I'm in. So we all just finished up eating dinner. Me and my husband are sitting down. My kids are just playing in the living room, and we turn it on, and we're like, okay, let's do this. Then a train runs straight through a girl covered in blood. And I'm just like, I don't like blood. So I was like, what do I do? Do I throw up? My kids are right there. I just realized my kids are there. And I was like, oh, they're going to talk about this in therapy later. And I know it.
Exactly. That show my husband will watch with me. So that is something. He does watch that one with me. But yeah, that one was one of those awkward of like, I'm watching this with my 15-year-old son. This is not the best decision here. And then, of course, I didn't learn because Amazon Prime sent me a thing to go watch for free the Gen V at the movie theater, the first 2 episodes. And I was like, well, Dom loves The Boys. Why don't I'll go take him there. And then there were some very questionable scenes in that one, the first 2 episodes of that as well. So I was just like, yeah, I don't learn. But
I tried to get into Gen Z. I can't do it. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, it's not for me.
I didn't like it as much, but it grew on me. Dom enjoyed it a lot. I still haven't watched the animated one. He keeps trying to get me to watch that, but I just haven't, time, things like that. So.
Animated one.
The Diabolique or something like that, or I don't know.
I
don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing. This is
there's well, there you go. New world. But yeah, so that's one of my Nerdmon parenting fails. But basically, it's been fun raising the kids nerdy, and I mean, I haven't been able to get. They never got into Trek, which was the other big thing I grew up with. My mom was a big Trekker. We would do the cons and everything and stuff like that, but. I've tried to get them to watch a few things, but it's never clicked with them. But that's all right. They don't have to like all exactly the same nerdoms I like.
True.
And and then my daughter actually, she's the one who got me to watch she watched the Has Been Hotel stuff first, and then she got me to watch it, which was fun. She enjoyed being able to introduce me to something that she liked a lot. And again, not totally appropriate, but. Pick your battles, right?
That's true. I mean, we all watched things that weren't really appropriate first when we were younger. So,
yeah.
I guess there's worse things that could happen. Some people beat their kids,
Oh, there's much worse things. I mean, and at least the message from Has Been and things like that is pretty good. It's like acceptance and trying to better yourself and things like that. And
I haven't seen it, so I've heard
it's a good show.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Like, I've heard from both sides. From the people who are like, it's an amazing show, and the other people are like, how can children watch this show? So I'm just like, God bless. Thoughts and prayers. I don't know.
I don't know. It's I mean, it's your call as a parent. So what's appropriate and what's not. I decided that was okay. The ship had already sailed, and she watched that without me. So. It's like, all right, internet and their own computers and such. That's always tricky when you get into that whole aspect of things. It's just a tricky ship to navigate. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse things she could be seeing on the internet than Has Been Hotel.
Absolutely. So, And she wanted to share that with me, and it gave her confidence to dress up as Charlie. So, I really can't fault it.
And she told you about it. It's not like she tried to keep it a secret.
Oh, no, yeah. No, we've got pretty good communication, the kids and I. Or at least I think we do. So I think the most important thing. As far as I know, we communicate well. So I'm sure they don't. I know they don't tell me everything, but, it's... I try to keep open and accepting and all that. So,
Well, that's all you can do is just support them no matter what.
Exactly.
Create a open open line of communication for them.
And hopefully to have taught them the proper values and everything, and kindness and acceptance and all that stuff. So, which I think a lot of nerddom kind of promotes. I mean, definitely like X-Men and such, and things like that. That's promotes those kind of messages. So that's another great thing about raising kids nerdy is, a lot of nerds, grew up feeling not very accepted and feeling awkward and out of place. And so a lot of the stuff that's coming out now reflects that and reflects the need for acceptance and accepting people who are different and those kind of values. So nerd kids are cool.
Yeah, that is interesting how prevalent in today's society my daughter came in.
That's all right.
It's interesting today how prevalent the topics are that surround the X-Men. They're so very much still valid, and they should be talked about even more because the world is scary, and I'm worried it's getting scarier.
Oh,
and it's like you have kids, and they have to live in that world too. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Well, I think X-Men '97 came out at just the perfect time. I mean, that one episode is still resonates with me. And Dom and I watched that together, and we talked about it like for the whole week afterwards, and we were both so blown away by it. So
episode 5, remember?
Yeah. Yeah. That one still that one hit me hard. So I think it came at a time. That's what's great about X-Men. That's what the type of issues it tackles. So that's why that's always appealed to me.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. If you say you don't like the X-Men, that means you don't like the X-Men. You don't know the X-Men. I don't understand how you can look in a whole team and then just not like a single one of them. Like first of all, there are
many X-Men.
There's so many. Like even in the X-Men universe, it's just there's so many mutants.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that definitely. When I was middle school, high school, that definitely the mutants resonated with me because I felt so awkward and out of place and uncomfortable in my own body and everything. So it was good to have those to read, even if I was in the store pointing to my brother to go pick up them for me. I was too embarrassed to get them myself.
I get that. I think we all went through. I don't care what anyone says. We've all gone through that phase in our life where, like you said, you're not comfortable in your own body. You're not comfortable in life. And it was nice to see on TV people acting out the things that you were feeling because it feels really alone a lot of the time. Yeah. So the X-Men means so much for so many people.
Exactly. That's what's great about the community you've built too, is that there's those people that you can relate to and are going through similar stuff or different stuff, but you can relate to it in one way or another. So it's great to have this community as well. Wish it was around when I was a kid going through that stuff, but
totally
we found our people, right?
Yes, finally. I get it. Yeah, it's. Oh, my train of thought just left.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's nice to see that other people also can relate to the X-Men because they were feeling the same thing. And it's so crazy how it appeals to so many different groups of people, like people of different races, people of different genders, people of different sexual orientations.
Absolutely.
Or just your average person who's just uncomfortable and feels alone. And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's good to have that, and it's good to have that for the kids. And you were saying how your youngest isn't into stuff yet. It took a while actually for my kids. I mean, they went through a little, boys they went through their big Batman and phase, and they went through a Spider-Man phase, but my daughter went through the princess phase, and all that. But it didn't really kind of hit until really get going until I don't know, until they got a bit older and we could really talk about stuff. I mean, that made a big difference, is being able to discuss these things and discuss what we liked and didn't like and the characters we liked. So that's what's neat about having teenagers, is that you can have conversations with them.
Well, that's like when I say she's into nothing, I mean, like, we didn't even know what her birthday party would be themed as. We had no idea. It was so, like, she just goes with the flow. Nothing is her favorite thing. She's just so chill. And for her birthday, we just made it a dessert theme. So she was 2 sweets. So she was 2.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So she loved that. And we're like, okay, so you do like sweets. Like, that's what you're into. And she's nonverbal, so she can't tell us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both my kids are nonverbal. I have the loudest 2 nonverbal children in the entire world.
Class.
So it's a cruel twist of Mother Nature, I guess. But
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping someday we'll be able to cosplay as a family. Well, my husband never will, but
No.
I feel like I have a lot of power here as their parents, so I'm going to try to use that power.
Well, Halloween's a good starting point. That's where it started for us, was just with Halloween costumes, and then started going to the cons, and just went from there. I realized last year we actually went to no, I guess it was only 2 cons this year, because we skipped the there's a little Bellingham con, but we were waiting for my son's new passport to arrive, so we didn't make it to that one. But we went to Vancouver Fan Expo, and then we went to the Washington State Summer Con, which was a ton of fun, and had my son's favorite Broadway singer, who's also a voice actor, was there, so that was really cool. And
Who?
Alex Brightman. He did Beetlejuice on Broadway, and he does a bunch of the has-been Hell of a Verse characters, and so that was really cool. It was fun, and my son was there in his I think it was unicorn Deadpool costume, and he had his Infinity Gauntlet, and it was great because Alex Brightman came and he borrowed the gauntlet and went and flipped off the other actor, because anyone who holds the gauntlet, they have to flip people off. It's just kind of because you can move the fingers, and
you have to do it.
And anybody who does it, and so the gauntlet went around a bunch of the cast, and they were flipping each other off, so that was fun. And then the really cool thing is we didn't realize at the time, but somebody told us that the creator of the Infinity Gauntlet, the comic creator of the Gauntlet, was there, and so he actually signed the Gauntlet. So that was really awesome.
Oh wow, that is really cool.
That was really fun. So that was a really fun con. And
that sounds like you had the time of your life.
Oh, it was so good. It was at the Puyallup Fairgrounds, which is big. The Vancouver Fan Expo is in a small convention center, and it gets really crowded. So it was blazing hot in summer, but it was air conditioned inside, and we had such a good time, and cosplayed and hung out with other geeks and looked at stuff and met all these creators, and it was probably my favorite con I've been to. So hopefully we'll go again next year, depending on how it works with school. Because, schools get out a little bit later here in BC than they do in Washington. So
okay.
It just depends. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I hope you post all the pictures from when you guys...
Well, I'm sure I will.
I love your picture. There's... just like... You get FOMO when you see other people living your dream. And you're like, I want to join. I want to be a part of the family.
Well, if you ever come out here, we'll cosplay with you.
Yes. finally someone will, because my family hates me.
Oh, I just have well, as you know, my son's a big drama theater nerd, so he loves to dress up. I've always loved to dress up, so any excuse to put on funny outfits, it's like, let's do it.
I love
costuming, so yeah. So
I feel like, what does your son want to be when he grows up?
he wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
So
This sounds like the making of one. Like, well, when he was younger, he would dress as Deadpool and a unicorn. He dressed as Princess. Like, you know how you always hear about those, like, those actors and their past lives? Like, I feel like this is where we're at with your son. this is history happening.
Yeah, well, Ryan Reynolds came from this area, so, we got which is his my son's I don't know, favorite actor, idol, whatever, he looks up. So that's whose footsteps he's hoping to follow. So we'll see. It's a hard path to take. So I wish him the best. A little bit nervous as a mom, because it's hard to break in as an actor, but I'm definitely trying to support him. He got signed by an agent, so he hasn't been cast in anything yet. So
he has a whole agent?
Yeah, agent who does commercials. So he's done 2 auditions for commercials. He's done a bunch of background work for like Hallmark movies and other things, because they do a lot of filming at his high school. So he's starting out. Yeah, if you ever
an actor, like he's an actual actor.
Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah, he's in the background in the Stephen King horror movie, The Monkey, that's about to come out. So he's background of that. Both he and I are actually in the Hallmark movie, A Reason for the Season, that we did background work for, which was a funny experience because we're filming in June and blazing hot, wearing winter clothes and Christmas clothes. So that was funny. So you can see us both there.
We've just been talking about this stranger of a 16-year-old this whole time. Little did I know he's famous and an actor. Like, that's wild.
He's getting there.
And you're an actor. You were in the background too.
Yeah, I was there too. So yeah. No, it's really good. He goes to a good school with a really good theater department, and the drama teacher does raises a lot of money for the drama department by hosting. Because so much stuff is filmed here in the Vancouver area, hosting a lot of these Hallmark movies get filmed at the school. Episodes of Riverdale have been filmed there. Like, all kinds of stuff has been filmed at the school. So it's a neat opportunity for him. We're really, really lucky to have that.
It feels kind of like fate. Like, it could happen anywhere, but it happens there. Yeah.
That's
so cool.
I really hope it all works out for him, because I think I'm biased. I'm the mom, but I think he's insanely talented. I think we were chatting earlier. I just admire he can stand up on a stage and just belt out singing. Singing the songs. And he does all these musicals, and it's like, and there's other kids singing, and they're fine, but they're you can tell they're a little nervous. They're not. You can hear Dom, because he's got absolutely no fear on stage. It's where he's happiest and feels most comfortable is when he's up and performing, and I just admire him so much for that. He's such a neat kid. All 3 of my kids are. It's just just right, but he's my Marvel nerd, and so
I think that confidence in itself is a talent, because like to have that so young, it's and it's such an awkward time in life at 16. That's insane.
Even my husband, who isn't into theater and into all this stuff, I mean, he'll go. Of course, he goes and sees the plays and such, and he's impressed that Dom can just stand up there and do that. And he gets excited when the casting's coming. What's it going to be? Which role? Because last year Dom was the baker in Into the Woods, so he's in grade 10 and gets one of the lead roles. So I can rave about him nonstop. He's my kid.
So as we wrap up, is there anywhere you want to tell our listeners that they can find you, or if you don't, that's okay too?
You can find me on Instagram at KJLGEH. You can find Dom as that one theater kid, or he also does Grinch impersonation, so he's also the Great Grinch of Brookswood on Instagram. So I
that's cool.
looked up both places there. Yeah, and that's where we're at.
Great. Now I have to go follow him because, like, how often do you get to say you talk to an actor's mom? That's wild.
Yeah, and he's going to be big. I know it. So, you can see him. You
I
sort
think
of knew
so.
him before he was big.
Yeah, true, true. We are the trendsetters, if you will.
Obviously.
So, that brings us to the end. Thank you, Katie, for joining me. It was so fun to have this nerdy parent talk I've always
Yeah.
wanted to have. It's such a weird, it's such a good group to be in. To all the other nerdy parents, I hope you enjoyed this. This was so much fun. If you want to find me, you can look on every social media app under Vigilante Vibes Podcast or Vigilante Vibes Pod, depending on where you are. Wherever you're listening to, be sure to click that subscribe button so you can hear all the other episodes I drop with maybe more parents. Who knows? You can find me at nerdinitiative.com where we review the latest comics, movies, and TV shows. And I hate to brag, my reviews are pretty good. So, as
They're
always,
excellent.
thank you. As always, thank you for your never ending support. You guys are amazing and have a marvelous day.